Alrighty, Halos, welcome back to another patch notes rundown here. So we got patch 2025.S1, so season 1, and then .3. So this is the third patch, basically season 15 here, basically. So yeah, let's jump straight on into it. So what do we have? We got a little highlights here, obviously. The skins actually look really cool, I'm not going to lie. We'll get to those after we get to the patch note rundown. But yeah, so let's see, what is this? I've got some stuff here. Upgrading how we use DirectX to X11 for Windows users. If your graphic card supports this, your client will update automatically. Okay, interesting. Alright, and then we got streamer mode. Oh, what's this? With this patch, we're introducing the streamer mode. This will replace account names with the champion name from the loading screen all the way through the end of the game from the view of the player that has this enabled. This addition is intended to help reduce incidents of things like stream sniping or other forms of streamer harassment or disruption. That's really cool, actually. I like that. To enable streamer mode, all you need to do is to enable this setting in the interface settings on the client. Just navigate to settings, interface, health, and resource bars. Okay, cool. I like that. So, systems, attack speed cap. I kind of heard about this, actually. This is really cool, I believe. So, it says the baseline attack speed cap was 2.5, and it has been for as long as I remember, I'm pretty sure forever, and now it's going to be 3.0, which is actually really cool. So let's see how they explain it. So the average power level of champions has slowly risen over the last decade, and a half of League. Oh, last decade and a half of League. And one place that hasn't always kept up is repeated auto attacks and effective health totals. As effective health totals and ability damage have improved, it's time to make sure late game attacks can keep pace. So we're bumping the theoretical top end DPS up by 20%. We think there's a hard cap in how fast champions should be able to attack in most cases, so that even in the late game scenarios they are playable and for mere mortals. But we think 3 attacks per second is reasonable. Yep, I think that's perfectly fine. I think I could go higher also, but it's fine. That is at least a little better, so that's good. Alright. Next up is champion bounties. So let's see, passive bounty suppression. So lead required to begin positive bounty suppression has been decreased by 60%. Okay, lead required to fully remove bounties from the losing team decreased by 33%. All right, and then once objectives bounty spawn, champion bounties are now fully suppressed for the losing team. Oh, that's kind of interesting. All right. And then, okay, Kimtech Soul's up next. So we have below 50% health buff, 11% increased damage, and damage reduction was the old version. Now it's 13% increased damage and damage reduction. So Kimtech's just getting buffed. That's really good. Apparently it's the worst performing dragon, Soul, so that's interesting. And then Cloud Soul, let's see, movement speed gain. So it was 20%, now it's 15%, so that's getting nerfed on the Soul end, so once you get all 4 of those dragons. And then Void Grubs, I think these are fine so far. Void Grubs, so on initial spawn, health and attack damage update immediately instead of at 6 minutes and 4 seconds. Interesting. Okay. Buff structure damage per stack was 8 or 4. Wait, what? 8 or 4 every 1 second for 4 seconds. Buff structure damage per stack. Oh, buff structure damage per stack. I got you. Sorry. So it was 8 structure damage for. Is this for melees and for ranged or something? Anyway, so it's 8 or 4 every 1 second for 4 seconds, and now it's going to be 6 and 3 every 1 second for 4 seconds. So it's getting nerfed on the damage to towers, which I think is fine. Although it already wasn't really that much, to be honest. So it can definitely stack up when you have a lot of them. And you can have multiple stacks on them, that's true as well. But yeah, okay, interesting. I think you can have multiple. Actually, I'm not sure. Anyways, Otacon is up next. So we have extra gold earned whenever you get a takedown was 40 gold, now it's 25 gold. And then withdrawal now fully heals you as opposed to only fully healing your base health. But the false life withdrawal stasis duration was 5.5 seconds. Now it's 15 seconds, so it's a lot more fair, I guess, pretty much. But yeah, I think overall this is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. Probably for the best, honestly. So I'm down with it. Cassiopeia is our first champion update for this patch here. So let's see, what do we have? So Noxious Blast or Q. Looks like the base damage is getting unchanged, but the scaling damage of her for AP is down by 5% from what it used to be. So it's now just 65% instead of 70%. W miasma, or miasma or whatever. Damage per second looks like base is unchanged again, but it's down. I believe this is plus 10% of AP besides the base damage. Not just plus 10 AP. That's just a typo. But yeah, it's down by 5% on the scaling ratio of that as well. So just kind of nerfing her a little bit, kind of like her scaling mostly there. Definitely hurts, but I think she's probably just going to be fine for that. I don't think that's that huge of a deal, but definitely can be meaningful. Evelyn, we got her E Whiplash getting some changes here. So the basic damage, it's actually getting upped by a lot of damage actually. So at level 1 for the base damage, the flat damage, it's going up by 5 at level 1, 20 at level 2. Looks like is that 35 at level 3, 50 at level 4, and then 65 at level 5. So it's a lot of base damage getting upped on that one. It looks like it's plus 3% of target's max HP was what the old one, and now instead of just plus 1.5% of AP, it's plus 1.5% per 100 AP. So that's definitely a nerf on the AP scaling of it, at least. So that's why they're giving all the base damage a bit back. Okay, so it's giving her more early game and less late, it seems, on that. And then the empowered damage, it's also getting a lot of base damage there, the flat damage there on that. And then the same thing is happening. So instead of plus 2.5% AP scaling as well for the target max HP damage, it is plus 2.5% per 100 AP. I think that's perfectly fine. It probably makes her in a better spot, I think. But definitely doesn't like scale as crazily, I would say. Okay. Alrighty. Galio. So base stats was 632 on the health, and now it is 600. Okay. Alright, sounds good. That seems fine. Not too big of a deal. And then Kane, Q Reaping Slash. It's like the base damage actually is going down in the later ranks, especially. At the final rank, it's down by 20 damage flat, but the AD scaling is unchanged there. So it's just a little bit less early game damage, it seems. Well, not necessarily early, because if you max your Q and no other ability, then you're gonna get this at what, level 9 probably. So yeah, it's not that early actually. That's interesting. Okay, I think it's fine though. Not that big of a deal, I don't think. And then Jax is up next. So we got base stats. The health growth is going from 100 to 103, and then we have our base mana regen or mana regen was 7.6, and now it is 8.2. And then the our Grandmaster at Arms, the 3-hit damage looks like it's getting buffed here. Plus 5 damage at level 1, then plus 10, then plus 15 based on rank there. So it's a little bit extra on hit damage, which actually does kind of ramp up a little bit, or stack, I guess. Well, not stack, but like it'll add up for sure. The more hits he gets in, obviously, of it. Alrighty. Just straight up buffs for Jack, so that's kind of interesting. I guess they consider him weak at lower ranks, especially. So that's interesting. Alright. That is kind of interesting. I thought he was really strong, and they kept nerfing him a bunch, so they're giving him some stuff back at least. So yeah, okay, Jace is up next. We got Q to the skies. Alright, so the flat damage is going down a decent amount, especially later, but nothing super huge. And then the AD scaling is actually going up by 15%. It's bonus AD still, but yeah, that is quite a bit actually. So that definitely makes up for that loss of damage in the flat department. Alright, and then Q Shock Blast. Looks like a similar thing is happening. Very similar, actually, yeah. So it's like 25 damage less on the flat once you max this ability out, but it's getting plus 15% extra bonus AD scaling, so it's quite a bit extra. So that's just fine, I think. I believe. And then W Lightning Field. Let's see. What do we have here? So the flat damage is going down, looks like by 5 damage at every rank, and then AP scaling's unchanged there, and then the R transform Mercury Hammer, the empowered basic attack damage, it looks like it's getting nerfed here on the flat damage, and buffed on the bonus AD again, so kind of a similar story throughout it. So it's kind of just getting him less lane power, sort of, early game especially, and then once he gets his items, it pretty much makes it about pretty much the same, maybe even a buff, but yeah, it just depends. And yeah, okay, and then Misfortune's up next. So we have armor nerf and armor growth nerf. Wow, that's kind of crazy. I actually don't think she's that strong, honestly, but okay. Armor is going from 28 to 25, and then armor growth is going from 4.2 to 4. Nothing super huge, honestly, but definitely she's not going to be as tanky, and she's already pretty squishy, actually, anyway, so that is definitely going to not be super great for her. Nasus is up next, so we got passive Soul Eater. Okay, good. They are giving him some of that lifesteal back. I'm glad, actually. So he was at 9, 15, and 21% of lifesteal based on level, and now it is 12, 18, and 24% again. So I believe that's what it was for a while there, if I'm not mistaken. So they are kind of giving him back that a little bit, so that's good. That's really good. And then Quinn, let's see, the W heightened senses attack speed is getting changed here, buffed actually. So it was 28% at rank 1 and then 60% at rank 5, and now it is 28% at rank 1 and 80% at rank 5, so quite a bit buff. Even at level 2, it's starting to be a definitely noticeable amount of attack speed given as well, so that's good. And then Rakan is up next. So Grand Entrance, his W, looks like it's actually getting buffed here. So he got 2 seconds off the level 1 cooldown, and then it scales to be 10 seconds just like it used to be. So mostly just early game kind of buff. But yeah, definitely really nice for him. Alright, and next we have his Rel. Health was 640, now it's 620. So that's fine, no problem. And then armor growth, it was 4.3, now it's 4. That's kind of surprising. She's a number 1 support, really? That's crazy. I don't know about that one. I think that's a overstatement in my opinion, but okay. Maybe I just haven't been watching the other leagues enough, but okay. Just bits of tapping on her there, so she's tapping down some power. And then Samir's up next. We got E Wild Rush, her dash there. The attack speed duration was 3 seconds, now it's 5 seconds. Okay, cool. I think it's fine because it already was like not that much attack speed anyway, and you were mostly just using this for the dash anyway, so that's cool. I'm glad they give that back, or not back, but just give her a little extra time to use the attack speed buff in situations where she would need to like dash away or something. Alright, Skarner is up next. So we got armor growth nerf here, and then another nerf after that. So armor growth was 4.8, now it is 4.5. Nothing huge, but definitely a couple of armor he's losing there throughout the course of the game. And then E Ishtal's impact, stun duration was 1.5 seconds, now it's 1 second. So actually you're stunned for a lot less time I think that's the dash through the walls that stuns you against the wall. So that's actually pretty nice. It's a nerf for him for sure, and not great for Skarner players, but I don't really play him that much anyway, so that's pretty cool. I think that's nice. That's good as a non-Skarner player. Swain is up next. So we have passive Ravenous Flock. His max health per soul fragment was 12, now it's 15, so he's getting extra max health, which is great for him. E's Never Move, we have, looks like the flat damage is unchanged here, but the AP scaling is actually up by 10%, which is really nice for him. He does tend to build like kind of health AP items, so that is definitely nice. Nice buffs for him. Alright, Teemo's up next. We got E Toxic Teemo. Where are we getting a Teemo change? E Toxic Shot. So on hit damage is getting, whoa, getting heavy nerfs actually, I think. So it was 14 to 66 based on rank. Now it's 9 to 65. So it goes 9, 23, 37, 51, and 65. Just the on-hit damage. But still, that's pretty nice. That's pretty big nerf, I would say, for him. That's kind of crazy, actually. I'm not sure where they were getting the stats that he's like OP or anything. But okay, interesting. Alrighty. Thresh is up next. Health going up by 20 points, not too big of a deal, but definitely nice for him. E-Flay basic attack damage here was 1.5 per soul. Now it's 1.7 per soul, and it says up to, it was 8 based on rank, 80% to 100%. Extra damage, I think, or of total 80, it looks like it says. So now it is up to 90 is the starting rank, and then 210% is the total 80. So just up 10% on all of that total 80 damage there as well. So if you are an AD Thresh player, this is a definitely nice buff for you. Certainly. Even if you aren't, it's definitely noticeable, I would say, just slightly. But yeah, anyways, cool. VA goes up next. We got attack damage down by 3. Wow, okay. Was 60, now it's 57. That's pretty big, actually, I would say. All right. Wukong. Oh, okay, so they gave him that for the Worlds buff patch. All right. So they're kind of just taking it back. So he's kind of like before Worlds kind of level almost, maybe. Okay, interesting. Wukong is up next. W decoy cooldown was 18 seconds, now it's 14, and then the or not 14, it was 18 to 14 on the old cooldown based on ring. Now it's 20 to 16, so up 2 seconds at every rank basically, and definitely not super great for Wukong, but I think it's fine. Should be fine. And then E Nimbus Strike attack speed was 40% to 60%, now it's 35% to 55%. I feel like they just buffed this actually slightly, so that's kind of sad to see it going back down again, but it is a pretty strong ability, so that's fine, I suppose. All right, that's it for champions, so let's move into the items here. So we got Blood Song, Expose Weakness, increased damage taken was 10% melee, now it's 8%, and then 5% ranged. 5% ranged is unchanged there, so it's just less damage for melee champions, and the duration was 6 seconds, now it's 4 seconds. So they're not exposed as long to that extra damage. And then Zazak's Realm Spike, these are just support items here, of course. The AP ratio was 20%, now it's 15%, so a lot less, actually. Alright, definitely unfortunate for damagey supports, I would say. Alright, and then Electrocute is our first rune. Now we got, so the damage on that was 50 to 190 based on level, now it's 70 to 240 based on level. The ratio is unchanged. Oh wow, that's a pretty nice buff. I was hearing about this a little bit, the electrocute buffs, so that is actually cool to see, actually, not gonna lie. I have felt that it's like almost not even worth it taking it, even on champions that do use it a lot, because the damage is just kind of small. There's just other damage, like Conqueror, press the attack. There's a lot of other options that could probably just be better in almost every situation. So that's interesting. Okay. Definitely Zed buffs for sure. But yeah, okay, quite a bit of damage given back. That's kind of nice, actually. Dark Harvest is getting buffed as well, so it was 20 flat damage, now it's 30, and then was plus 9 per soul, and now it's plus 11 per soul. So that's pretty good for Dark Harvest. I think that's fine. Hail of Blades is getting buffed as well. So melee attack speed was 110%, now it's 140%. Ooh, I might try this one again, actually. That's pretty good. Okay, and then the cooldown was 12 seconds, now it's 10 seconds. Sweet. Yeah, I might go Hail of Blades Zen once again, actually. We'll see. We'll think about it. But yeah, that's a pretty good buff. It's not like crazy, but it's definitely big. Okay, cool. Swift Play is getting some changes. So, update has 2 core features. First, we're promising a hard cap on how long each game can go. While 90% of games are over by 33 minutes on the clock, we don't want anyone to be stuck in the game longer than 35 minutes. And even the average game time of 25, 45 could stand to go down. Second, we've heard the feedback that there's simply too much to do at all points in the game. You'd rather be fighting each other than epic monsters. Fair enough. On the game ending front, we've buffed minion scaling to more closely match how quickly champions earn golden experience. The way their health pools should weather champion wave. What? This way their health pools should weather champion wave clear a bit better, and their sharper blades should cut down structures a bit faster. We've also added a sudden death mechanic similar to the one seen in Clash. Okay. At 25 minutes, structures will begin to lose resistances. 27, everyone will receive a 3-minute warning, and at 30 minutes, vulnerable structures will crumble to dust over the course of 1 minute. The expectation is that this mechanic won't have to decide many games and will instead spur players to action so that they can claim victory. For epic monster pacing, we remove dragons back to the normal 5-minute respawn timer and push Rift Herald back to the midpoint between Void Grubs and Baron Nashor. Okay, interesting. Alright, game pacing updates. Minion scaling was every 90 seconds, now it's every 60 seconds. Oh, wow. Okay. Melee minion AD per upgrade. Oh, okay, hold on. This is just for Swift play. Okay, my bad. I thought this was for the main game. I was like, whoa, this is big. Okay, alright, sounds good. So yeah, definitely check out this stuff if you are into Swift play a lot. And it's definitely pretty cool, but yeah. Without player interaction, at 36 minutes, the game will end via the Nexus burning down. Whoa. That's kind of interesting. Okay, anyways, cool. This is all very nice. Definitely check that stuff out if you haven't already. I'll put the link in the description for the patch, of course, as well, and you should be able to pause the video as well if you need to. But yeah, champions these are just changes for Swift play, and this is ARAM changes here. Definitely check that stuff out. AR Earth is coming. Or is it already here? I'm not sure. It might already be here. I haven't really been able to play League recently, sorry. But yeah, the big change this patch is to raise the attack speed cap from 2.5 attacks a second up to 10 attacks per second. Okay. Cool. So that's wow. That's a big nice cap. All right. Alrighty, cool. I love that. Alright, we've got Dark Steel re-enabled, Magi Soul Steel, Coal, Heart Steel, Alrighty, champion nerfs, champion buffs, and then we've got the Mythic shop here, and then the stuff leaving the Mythic shop. Ooh! The Firecrackers in Zhao. I didn't know that was in there. That's kind of cool, actually. I wonder if it's a good looking... it looks like a chroma, right? I'm not sure. But yeah, anyways, bug fixes and quality of life changes. Definitely check this stuff out. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, this stuff can always be like pretty big, actually. So definitely check out this stuff because it can be very important in game changing and stuff. So yeah, definitely read all through that stuff really fast. And then finally we have Dumpling Darling Syndra and a Moo. So this is the Syndra one, looks pretty neat, not gonna lie, I like it. And then we've got the Dumpling Darlings and Moo, which is definitely my favorite. I love this so much. I hope they do some more of these, but unfortunately it's only 2 of them right now, so hopefully we'll get some more in the future. But pretty cool, I like it a lot. And then we've got them in game as well. You can kind of see, looks pretty decent. I'm a fan, and then this one actually looks pretty good in game too, I'm not gonna lie, from what I can tell. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's gonna be it for today's patch. Definitely, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and a comment and your thoughts on some of your favorite champion changes or anything here. If one of your mains was affected, let me know what you think about the changes. But other than that, I appreciate it once more for checking out the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alrighty, peace.